welcome back. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I hope you're all staying warm. Getting kind of cold in certain parts of the United States. Even down in Florida it's been kind of cold. Anyway, so much for the weather report. Today we're going to look at the Tecsun DR-920C AM FM shortwave radio with a digital display. Now, apparently there were several models or versions of this, because I've seen the DR-920 in other reviews, and I have not seen the B, the A, the B, or the C. So I'm going to do the C. I just got this last week from Amazon, and one dealer had on sale for $24.95, so I grabbed one. So we're going to take a look at that today. So, comes with this carrying pouch, nice cloth, soft carrying pouch. I call this not a carrying pouch, but a protection pouch is what I call these things. Protect your radio, and I really like it when they include these. So that's the pouch. Here's the manual, and lo and behold, the manual is in English, and it's pretty good English. I was able to read it without too much problems, but this radio is pretty straightforward anyway. And as I said, it's AM, FM, shortwave. Shortwave is broken down into 10 bands. Let's zoom in a little bit on the radio now. We just got the radio here. Move it down a little bit. Zoom a little closer. That's about the best I can do. And now we're going to drive the focus crazy. Sorry for that. That's, I got this choice between focus and non-focus, and I don't know which to choose. Anyway, it has 10 shortwave bands, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. It has an earphone output. It has a clock, of course, which you see right now. It's off and the clock is showing. And it has an alarm. It has snooze function, and it has a sleep function where you can set the radio on and determine how long it's going to stay on before it turns itself off, so you can fall asleep and the radio will go off. It does have a backlight, and the backlight can be forced to stay on. Oh, I love that. I love that. Of course, you always, when you do that, if you forget to turn it off, it's going to kill your battery. But I love to have that option, that when I'm playing with the radio and the lighting in the room is not that bright, I can keep that light on. Okay, and that's about it. That's the functions. We have an on-off switch on. Where'd the radio go? Oh, here it is. We have an on-off switch here, a tuning dial. It does have a tuning dial. And over here we have the volume dial, not buttons. I hate those buttons. Earphone jack, and an external power input connector. It does not come with an external power supply. It does have, let me shrink this antenna down before I break it off. It does have a kickstand. I love radios that have kickstands, so they sit up there all by themselves, nice and pretty. It does have a telescopic antenna for FM and shortwave that does swivel in all directions, and you can almost get it that when you're in the kickstand mode, you can almost get it so it's vertical. Not quite. It's about 15 degrees off of vertical, which is, you want it vertical. Okay. So the buttons we have here is the alarm on and off, the alarm set, time set, hours, minutes, light, sleep button, and here is the button for selecting the band. Pretty straightforward, nothing really super duper. Let me turn it on here by the button on the side, and we'll turn the volume down, because all I'm going to get in my office on the shortwave band is mostly noise. Some real strong stations will come in over the top of the noise, but with all the lighting and computers on, I'm just going to get noise. It's right now in one of the mini shortwave bands It's on number 10. And I went on the internet and I got this table that shows all the international broadcast bands and, let's see if I can get the camera to focus for a second, and their frequency range. Oh, come on, camera, you had it there for a second. But anyway, so what I did is I compared what I could tune on this radio to what the international bands are. Now, like I say, it's not continuous tune. So you select a band and that gives you a frequency range that you can tune over. For instance, the first band, now let me back up for a second. Initially there are two bands that you can't tune, and that's 120 meters international broadcast band, which starts at 2300 kilohertz to 2495. You won't tune that low. The next one is 90 meters, which is 3200 to 3400. Can't tune that band. But those bands are not usually used that much for international broadcasting stations. The first one you can receive is the 75 meter, which is 3900 to 4000, and it will tune 3750 to 4335 kilohertz. So in general, you can get all the bands down to 15 meter band. It does not tune the 15 meter band, which is 8900 to 19020 kilohertz. Won't tune in that band. And it won't tune the 11 meter band, which is 25,600 to 26,100. It won't tune down there. But all those in between, from the 75 meter to the 13 meter band, which is the most popular international broadcast bands, it will tune, and it tunes a little bit outside of them. For instance, if I just pick my most popular one that I like, is the 31 meter band, which is 9400 to 9900 kilohertz. It will tune 9065 to 10,065. So a little outside the range, and by doing that it picks up WWV on 10 megahertz. Now, it doesn't pick up WWV on 15 megahertz because on the 19 meter band it tunes from 15,160 to 15,910. It doesn't get down to 1500 or 15 megahertz. So those are the bands that will tune. If you want to get a copy of this, I can send it to you. Just send me an email to TRRS73@gmail.com. That's TRRS73@gmail.com, and I'll try to send you this file I made, which is the listing of the international broadcast bands, and in bold underneath each band I have what this radio can tune. So it pretty well covers the international broadcast bands. It's just divided up, and you have to use this switch down here to select which band you want to tune. Now, the tuning I found, this is of course brand new radio, the tuning I found is a little stiff. Not too bad, but it's stiff to the point where it will stay on a station. You don't have a tendency to whip past a frequency. And it tunes at 0.005 megahertz or 5 kilohertz in the shortwave band. I was going to talk about the shortwave band because that's what we're interested in. It does a fine job on AM and FM, and the little bit of testing I've done is doing a very good job on shortwave. Very sensitive. As a matter of fact, it's too sensitive and it picks up a lot of the noise in my office. So what I'm going to do is when the weather turns good, I think early next week it's supposed to warm up a little bit, I'm going to take this radio and this radio that originally sold for $12 and now it's $17, the VITE VT111. I'm going to take these two radios outside and do some reception testing, or at least go down in my workshop where it's a little less noisy and do some reception testing. Now this one, and I'll do another video comparing the two, because there's a lot of differences between these two, and if I had my choice, not knowing how good the reception is on these two radios, because I haven't done reception testing outside of my noisy office, I would pick this radio, and when I do the video on comparison, I'll tell you why. Okay, let's put this aside. I think we pretty well covered this radio. The antenna, built-in antenna, is about, it's less than 2 feet in length. A little short, but of course this is a small radio, so you can only have so much antenna collapsing and work on a radio this small, because it has to be stored in this position right here. It does have the band information on the back of it. Tells you what each band is. 10 shortwave bands, the medium wave band, and the FM band. And we turn the backlight on, see if it'll show up. Okay, I push and held, so therefore it should stay on. And now I'm going to turn a few lights off, and that way you can see pretty good backlighting. Whoops, just kicked the camera. I always have to kick the camera at least once during my recordings. Okay, I didn't push and hold long enough, so it went back off. So there it is. Pretty good backlight, and it's one of those backlights that's the lighting is universal. In other words, it's nice and smooth. There's not bright spots or anything like that. Turn it back on again. There it is. Okay, so when we turn the overhead lights back on, there we go. So pretty good display there. Easy to read, very easy to read. And the sound is a little tinny. There's a tiny little speaker here. The sound is a little tinny. Again, what I'll do is when I'm comparing it to this one, I'll compare the sound quality of the two radios. I think that's about it. Not it comes with a built-in little handle. Again, it's built in, so it's not detachable unless you just cut it off. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. That's about it. So if you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I have found a way to send a message to my new subscribers and thank them for subscribing. So I think I've got that problem. It's more manual than it used to be, but now I know how to do it. So I've been busily trying to catch up on my new subscribers and thanking them for subscribing. So that's the show. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.